All right, guys, here we are back with the SIG MCX Rattler. So we're just going to go over and do a quick cleaning on this thing. I'm not going to go crazy in depth. I'm going to do a good cleaning that you can do every 2,000-3,000 rounds, and it should be fine depending how much you shoot this one. If it runs suppressed, probably a little more often because all the back pressures and gunky crap. You definitely want to give special attention to that bolt carrier group. So let's go ahead and get started. So as everybody knows, on most AR-15s, if you're watching this video, you probably don't know, your two pins right here are your main points. So what you want to do is first punch out this back pin. Let me get something to punch it out with. I try to use anything that's like plastic or not with a sharp end so that it doesn't scratch up your pins. I don't care on my guns, I'll scratch them up, but this one's not mine, so you're gonna push that pin. Once that pin comes through on the other side, pull it all the way out. Once that happens, you're on a flex here. So now your other pin is the one you want to get to. These higher end guns have very tight tolerances, so they don't just free float like that. Okay, finally got that thing out. So let me push this back out. I had to push this one back in to get it kind of lined up again. But once that one's out, I'm going to pull the first one out again. Bring this one out. Okay, once that's out, pull your other one completely out. Now your pistol's in two. This, you don't have to do a lot here. Usually this part right here, what I do is I'll take a paper towel. I'll take my spray and I'll just kind of douse it down in there. I'll let that sit for a little bit. And then I'll just take a paper towel, and as far as I can reach down in there, I'll get some Q-tips and I'll just kind of clean everything out. I mean, you can take your hammer group out here, but you really don't need to. I mean, if you really want to buff it up and shine it up, but for performance, you really don't have to. What you want to give all your attention to is this upper half. So as I said before you do any cleaning, you make sure any ammo that is in the room finds another room. So you want to get it out of there. Don't even have ammo in the same room. So once you have it here, you're going to pull your charging handle, pull it straight back. Your bolt carrier group is going to come out with it. So make note of exactly how it comes out. That's exactly the way you want it to go back in. So here's your bolt carrier group. Pull that over to the side. That slides right out. And you go to put it back in, slide it right over the top, drop it back down where it was before you put it back in. So come up, drag it out the side. There's a little pin there that you just got to kind of overcome. It sticks out a little bit. But other than that, no big deal. So I'm going to douse all this down. I'm going to put this to the side just so it doesn't get sprayed. And this also over here too. Also your charging handle. I'll show you how that charging handle came out because I kind of pulled it off camera. There's these little, let's see if you can see them. Let me try and get, I got a flashlight on me, 1 second. Them little divots right in there. Your charging handle has these little tabs that poke out. You're going to slide it up there right up to them divots. Once it hits those divots, then you're going to push all the way down. It sits up in its own canal. Once you push forward, it doesn't come out. You come all the way back, it lifts up and out. So that's how you're going to do that. So we're going to just douse all this. Let that sit there for a second. Douse all this. Let that sit there. And your bolt carrier group. Now there is a way where you can take all this out of here. Like I say before, I wouldn't do that unless you're really comfortable with doing that. For the most part, you can spray all this down. Get it real clean. See that? That's just from touching it. And that's why paper towels are very important. So far you got these two. And then what I like to also do is, once I clean my hands, is just take the spray and just shoot it right down into the breech right there. That way it coats the whole barrel, and that way you get some of that breech face as well. So spray a couple times, let it run all the way down the barrel. Once I see it dripping out that other side, then I know it made its way all the way through. Let it sit there for a second. All right. So now I'll take my brush, if I can find it, and just brush all this stuff off. The charging handle isn't so much part of the bolt group, but since it's so close to the bolt group, it catches all this gunk on it as well. All the blowback from the gas block and stuff like that. So, and even more so if you're running it suppressed. So, just kind of all the corners. See all this stuff coming off. Whenever you're working with pieces that are metal on metal, the cleaner and the more lubricated they are, you always want to just keep them, not more lubricated, but you always want to keep some lubricity between them, because metal touching metal creates a lot of friction. So, which is why they make nickel plated stuff and stuff like that. So it seems like this thing really got gunked up. So I'm really going to work on this one. A little elbow grease there, some more spray. It's really gunked up. And with the magic of editing, we'll speed through this part a little bit. Time to refill this bottle, running low. So now, the bolt carrier group is where the meat and potatoes of the weapon is. So you really want to get that nice and cleaned up. Like I said before, the more often you do this, the less intense you got to do it. And the less often you do it, the more intense you're going to have to do it. So you definitely want to get in there. I'm sure they sell better grade and lower grade cleaning solvents. So go out there and do your research. What's better, what's worse. This has worked for me until now. I don't really have any guns that are jamming up on me because of gunk and stuff like that. Like I said, I do cleanings pretty regularly, just because, not because they need it, but just because I enjoy sitting them down, taking them apart and cleaning them. But the more often you do it, the better they'll run, and the less elbow grease you got to put into it the next time. See how much black stuff is coming off of here. This thing was pretty nasty. I would also recommend, or whatever your preference is, microfiber cloths, probably also a good option. Not that these leave much behind, but any little hairs. This one can leave hairs behind when you use paper towels. This one not so much, because I'm not sitting there scrubbing it so much, but patting and rubbing. But microfiber would also be just a more enhanced option. But I'm going to go in there and just get everything I can. There we go. This thing's starting to look back to normal. There we go. You want to try to leave it as dry as possible, and then come in here with the oil. And move it around, get all the bits and bobs, both sides of this. All the little crevices. Okay. Before we do oil, let me hit this thing one more time. Come in here and clean it up. That's pretty disgusting. You don't have to go crazy and get every little drop off this thing. That gun cleaning stuff also has some lubricity to it, so if anything's left behind, it's not going to hurt the process. Alright, but you do want to get as much of the dirt off as you can. That's pretty gunked up there. Those little corners and crevices, you don't want to overlook those. Okay. Once we got all that taken care of, oh, let me clean off this charging handle. All right. Once everything's pretty wiped down, like I said before, I just take a little bit of oil. Charging handle really doesn't need a whole lot. Just kind of want to wipe it down. That's good. A little bit of oil here. All your surfaces. That thing was black earlier. Drops, literally just working with drops here. You just want a slight film of oil on everything. And your bolt carrier group. Slide it in and out, get all your moving parts coated. Just gonna clean some excess oil off my hands and rub it down again. I don't want too much oil on here. You see how you get a nice coat there. All right, once that's done, you're gonna take this bad boy back on. Sideways. Push it all the way in. Hear that little click? Should drop right into there. This is the front of your bolt carrier here. This is where the weapon fires. This is where your striker is inside of. So, what you're gonna do now is, let me clean my hands a little bit. Actually, we gotta clean this barrel out. So let me get the bore snake that I have here. So this is what the bore snake looks like. Let me back you out again. This is your bore snake. It's got a little weight on the end of it. This is what's gonna lead you through the barrel. Then you're gonna pull through. This is regular fabric, and then here, it's got the little metal bristles that'll clean your barrel out for you. And then it's just got a loop here you can grab. So what we'll do is we're going to drop the little weight through there, have it go all the way down the barrel. Once I can see it out the other side, grab the weight, pull it through, and it's going to be nice and tight. There you go. I'd like to run it through at least 2 or 3 times. Once I see the weight on the other side. There we go. Okay. I look down the barrel, unless I see any, it's the only time you look down the barrel. Unless you see any crazy obstructions or anything like that, you want a nice clean profile there. I don't really clean all the excess oil off the barrel. I like to leave it in there because you're going to shoot out the extra anyways, and the extra lubricity doesn't hurt. So that's good there. I put this bore snake away. So now we can take our upper. We just wipe off some excess oil. What I also like to do every now and then is take a paper towel. Most of the time I like to use Q-tips, but I don't have any Q-tips with me. So I'll just douse this a little bit. And take that part that's doused and just run my finger along the insides there. You see that? It's not the actual heart of the function of the weapon, but like I said, clean is clean. If we can get up in there and clean as much as possible, that's good. So I'll take this. I'm just taking the same brush I had earlier with a paper towel on it. And I'm just going to kind of push it in there. All right. Just get in there as much as you can. If you got Q-tips at home, dip the Q-tips in the cleaning solution and run them around there. And just clean off as many surfaces as you can. You got extra cleaning stuff everywhere. So like I said before, you're going to take your charging handle. You're going to hit those little tabs in there. Let me see if you can actually see it this way. Let me get some light. Nope, you can't actually see the those little tabs down in there. Right there on the outside where that circle is. You're going to have this go in, slide all the way down, all the way to the bottom. And then I slightly push it forward just so it doesn't come back out on me. And now I'm going to slide this back in there. It slides right above it. And eventually, as it catches into place, it's going to hook your charging handle as you're pushing in. Come on, baby girl. Let's go. Oh. You always got to keep this extended. Sorry. I always forget that. Keep that extended because this piece, when you don't extend it, it's sticking out to the side and it doesn't go down right. Always keep this extended so that piece sneaks in there. Just bring this back out a little bit. Go back in here. And we're all the way in. It should go in. They should all go in as one piece. And there you go. It's back together. See that? That's flush. This thing will still pull it back out. Once you click, you're in there. They all three work in conjunction with each other. So once that's in there, you're good. Now, looks slightly dry there for a second. So I'm just gonna an extra drop of oil. Now for those that have the gun oil needles, usually you sneak it into little holes like this in the bolt carrier group. So there you go. It's not going to harm your weapon if you over oil a little bit or under oil a little bit. Just if you start noticing any kind of performance issues, then you'll know I went too little or I went too much. And then you just adjust accordingly. And then you learn your routine as you go. I'm trying to leave this standing. Let me clean my hands. Now we're going to take the lower. We're going to hook this part back on. You're always going to hook in the front first. This one has like a little detent. That's why it was hard to get off earlier. It was a very hard detent. It's going to want to give me trouble now too. There you go. Make sure it clicks on the other side. Once you put it all together, yeah, there we go. Came out good on the other side. Once you put it all together, the pieces start jiving better. There you go. And then after every cleaning, you want to just run this thing. You could even put a drop or two here. Rub your finger on it right here. And then just run this thing. Oh yeah. Smell of gun cleaning, you gotta love it. So that's it, guys. Now I'm just gonna take a clean paper towel, rub this thing down so we get rid of all the oil leaves behind like little shiny spots. Just rub it down. I mean, if it's me, I don't care, but I like to take care of other people's stuff better than my own. So wherever that, especially just because you gotta, I work with a sprayer. You don't have to use a sprayer, but the sprayer tends to get all over the place a little more. Over to the other side. Just clean it up a little bit. And that's it, guys. That's how you clean a SIG Rattler. It's not a super in-depth cleaning. Most of the time you don't need to do it super in-depth. You just need to get the functional parts, which is your BCG, your charging handle. So that's it. Get your barrel cleaned out. Make sure you got no obstructions in there. And that's all she wrote. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Have a good day. I'll catch you in the next one. Jesus loves you. He died for your sins. Till next time. I love you guys. Bye.